In today's video, I want to share with you some details on what a motivated seller is and what you should be doing as a savvy real estate investor to identify with those motivations when you run into those types of sellers, which, by the way, it might not even be in real estate. It may be in business. It could be any asset that somebody is motivated to sell. If you know what a motivated seller is and you can identify with what those motivations look like when they show up, guess what? You can help that motivated seller sell their asset, and maybe you could be the buyer. All right. Now, before I get into the details of today's video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And if there's any information we can provide for you, inside of the description, you'll see links to our courses, our workshops, our coaching. We even provide free strategy calls to our community when you reach out to us. So again, subscribe. If you have, thank you. Hit the notification bell. Let's get into what a motivated seller is. Now, before I get into the details of what a motivated seller is and what those motivations look like, understand something. Real estate investing, and the truth is any kind of investing, is all about solving problems. Okay? So if you are looking to invest in real estate, you want to acquire real estate, invest in businesses, you want to acquire businesses, if you are the buyer or if you want to be the wholesaler working with buyers, you got to get good at solving problems. Okay? You got to get good at solving problems. And you have to be able to see the problems as motivations. All right. So a motivated seller is simply a person who has a problem that needs to be solved. So remember, just because somebody is a motivated seller don't mean that they have volunteered to be a seller. Like, I deal with a lot of distressed properties and owners who they haven't volunteered to sell their property, but their problems have motivated them to where they are forced to have to sell it because they really have no other options. So I want you to understand that a motivated seller is simply someone who has a problem, and that problem has created the motivation for them to actually sell the property, the business, or whatever the asset is. Now, in my professional experience, we're talking about 21 plus years, here's what I've seen. There are at least three main motivations for motivated sellers. There are financial motivations, physical motivations, and social motivations. And guess what? There are no market motivations. I know sometimes people say, well, I'm motivated to sell because the market is up or because the market is down. Not necessarily. I know people who won't sell whether it's an up market or a down market, and they're not selling because they don't have these motivations. So when you find someone who has financial motivations or problems, physical motivations or problems, social motivations or problems, you have found a motivated seller. So what are some of the financial motivations? Well, they could be in foreclosure, they could be behind on bills, they could be on the verge of bankruptcy, they could be strapped for cash, they could have payroll issues if it's a business. There are so many different financial motivations. Typically in real estate, the biggest financial motivation is owner is behind on their mortgage. They're facing foreclosure. They got to make a move fast. That's a financial motivation. For a business owner, it's typically they're behind on their bills. The creditors are coming after them. They're considering bankruptcy. They have a staff. They can't cover payroll, and they're very motivated to sell either the entire business or a good portion of the ownership of the business so that they can solve the problem, not just satisfy a general motivation. So what are some physical motivations or problems? Well, if it's a piece of real estate, it could be distress, deferred maintenance. They can't afford to keep it up. Maybe there needs to be some repairs made that they can't make. It could be someone who owns a home outright. They have no mortgage, so there's no financial problem or motivation. But physically, It may take $100,000 for the property to be up to code, maybe code enforcement, or the city is on top of them. So these are physical motivations. I've worked with people who didn't have a whole lot of financial stress. They just didn't have a whole lot of surplus to fix the property up to actually sell it. So then they were motivated because of a problem physically to sell the property at a discount. So what are some social motivations? I'm using the word social to refer to, it could be a divorce. It could be a probate issue where a family member died. It could be a business where two partners are divorcing. Not necessarily a couple, but it's a business marriage where the two partners, so that's a social issue. It could be the area demographically is changing, or geographic changes that need to be made. And now they have a social problem or quote unquote motivation. So the most important thing in this video to know is a motivated seller. A motivated seller is a seller who has a problem, because the motivation is actually a problem. We're just respectfully using the word motivation or the term motivated seller to soften the blow of the reality that motivated seller is code for problem that needs to be solved. And these are the three areas of problems and motivations: financial, physical, and social. So again, if you can identify with the financial, physical, or social motivations or problems, or all three, that a owner of a business, the owner of a piece of property has, and you're able to solve them, guess what? You're the buyer, you're the investor, you can help them make a lot of money in the process. I'll see you in the next video.